Hello and welcome to your twin flame reading for the Divine Masculine and the Divine Feminine and the current union energy going on between you and your twin flame. And we're heading into another eclipse soon, coming up on Monday. So I'll be doing another reading more specifically directed at that, but you could kind of keep that in mind or at heart, like if you're experiencing like some upheaval, some like deeply kind of hidden maybe patterns being exposed, that you're ready to heal personally, collectively, and just like, growing then closer because of that. So trust the process, even if there's emotions like that are, I guess, unsavory along the way, or, you feel like, oh, I want to just give up or whatever it is. The eclipse is like, for me personally, can be a combination of like, whoa, upheaval, or like, oh, I feel tired, but then at the same time feeling amplified and energized, and maybe not like at the exact same time, but kind of in waves. And so it's about like balance and riding the wave, learning how to surf, the energy. And I did see a quote that I kind of liked. I would like to, credit the source, the page, but I can't remember who it was on Facebook. But anyway, it was an astrologer, and he said something like, ride the astrological energies or let them ride you. And I was like, oh, okay, like that's, because I know and feel and believe that the divine is all powerful, right? So like these astrological energies on their own aren't really like they're not God, but they're within the the kingdom, so to speak, right? Like they're within the universe. So here they are with us, and it is just like anything else in that kind of a way. I mean, it's like even literally riding a wave, surfing. Are you gonna let the wave ride you, or are you gonna ride the wave? And just like learning how to do that. But yeah, like obviously like kind of being in the know of what's going on is gonna help. And so if you're interested in astrology or drawn to it at all, it's like there's probably a reason why. And haters are going to hate, skeptics are going to maybe be skeptical for a while and step a little bit more into it or whatever. And you can just be wherever you are with it, and that is just fine. I guess like I kind of assume most of my audience is at least somewhat into astrology, but I'm sure there's a few people that have, like more outlying opinions and all that. And that's okay, that's what creates a conversation, and that's what helps us get to the truth of the matter. And the truth can be expressed in, our unique ways, but the truth is nonetheless the truth. So yeah, I think we can get started with the reading on that. And if you want your own astrological reading, you can always check out the links below. Like I just said, knowing those energies and knowing about them in your birth chart, I feel it's very worthwhile to know, and that's why I provide that service, because it's going to help you out, for the rest of your life, probably. So just keep that in mind as well. And so let's get started with the Divine Masculine. Let's go to the Divine Masculine today and see what's going on with him. So we have this citrine crystal. I think I pulled it out last time. I've been really into this citrine lately, and I've been kind of like just calling in like, oh, I would love like a lot of citrine in my life. I don't know how that's going to happen, but it's something that I just realized I really had a desire for. So, yeah. And the card, these are the Angel Tarot cards by Doreen Virtue. The card is King of Water. So this card is about compassion, and it's about charity, but not necessarily like, charity per se, but that really like kind of giving and generous vibe and fully giving. So King of Water, trustworthy, compassionate, respected, cultured. Open your heart and mind to those around you, trustworthy and heartfelt advice, charity work. And I feel like this is kind of speaking to the softer side for the divine masculine, kind of choosing to let down your guard a little bit and really like share your love like in the way that you feel called to. And this could also have to do with getting more vulnerable about how you feel about your twin flame, and maybe even sharing about that if that's something you're called to do. Like, it's funny how you don't realize, like, just telling a friend even or sharing something on social media, like, you really do reach other people. And when you're sharing something authentic about something that you've experienced, gone through, your passions, how you actually feel about something or someone, and it's not fake, it's not like, some false twin flame relationship, like, hey, look at me and like this other person, look how cool we are, aren't we inspiring? This is like a little bit more, sometimes the word that comes to mind is kind of like gritty, but that's kind of a weird, like, kind of seems weird, but on the surface, but underneath it, there is that like perseverance to be able to get to the place where you are vulnerable, but also willing to share that from that place that you're vulnerable. That actually does take grit. It's just kind of funny that that goes hand in hand with vulnerability, but I feel it does. And so yeah, this is also about feeling good in your space, like really being grateful for your own support system, and being grateful for like yourself, and the divine for like creating that for yourself, for cultivating that, and enjoying the harmony that is in your life, like whether it's with friendships, whether it's with your artistic kind of like things that you do, or another kind of area of your life purpose, or whatever it is for you, maybe multiple things, just having that gratitude and then being willing to somehow share is valuable to other people, because you're sharing something real. You're sharing love, and that's something that expands naturally, and love is powerful. So there you go. And yeah, open your heart and mind. I know I already read this, but open your heart and mind to those around you. So it's just like, it doesn't mean open up when you really don't feel called to. It's safe to have, healthy boundaries. And even with your twin flame, like, respect yourself and how you truly feel, because that's how you actually heal and how you actually really create that foundation of peace with your twin flame, not by not respecting yourself. By respecting yourself is how you do that. So, yeah, but that goes with anything in mind. Like, opening your heart doesn't mean putting yourself in a situation that you don't want to be in, although that's different as well from putting yourself in a situation that you might be vulnerable in, or that is taking a risk or something, but that you actually do desire to be in. So sometimes we do have to go to those places where we're not really completely comfortable, and go further there, push past the resistance, like the wall, and there's nothing really to even truly push through, but that's just sometimes what it really kind of feels like, is going past what's uncomfortable, what's unknown. I mean, that's how you expand, right? It's the same thing as growing your roots. Well, if your roots always stay in the really comfortable part of the soil, they're never going to grow, and they're never going to, the soil is just it's all going to kind of be there. Maybe the roots need to wait a little while until they're watered and the soil is a little easier to move through, or however that goes. But if the plant wants to grow and wants to feel like it has, more protection from the wind and all these things, the roots are going to need to grow, and like it's going to need to feel rooted down, and there's going to be probably something uncomfortable about that along the way. I mean, in truth, it's just, a natural process. Doesn't need to be uncomfortable, but I think that all of the whole analogy feels complete there. And and I mean, it's kind of interesting because it's also about rooting down into your emotions. So emotions, water, go hand in hand. So really mastering your emotions by being willing to go all the way through a feeling to the other side, the truth of the feeling, which is always like, actually peace in one form or another. So let's move on to the Divine Feminine. We have some nice rose quartz here. Always love the rose quartz. Still really want a lot of citrine, but I love rose quartz. It's very nice. I don't know why I'm like even comparing them right now. It's a little silly. But, oh, okay, this card came up in my TikTok reading last night. So there you go. Here it is again. 8 of Fire. Events moving at a fast pace, delays are over, many things happening at once. So last night I paired this with How Bizarre, was kind of like a viral song right now on TikTok. And so sometimes it's like good for views, it's fun, it's engaging. And I mean, the song is catchy, right? Like I liked it when it came out. It's kind of an interesting story. I think it's like a couple that has like Alzheimer's or something, and they think they're going away on a trip, and I mean, that's what the song's about. So how bizarre, right? It's funny how you can write a song about something, but sometimes you can apply it in a lot of different ways. It's really just like how God comes through and wants to share something through you. And so this anyway is about coasting and letting yourself go, like surrendering. Like you're already moving in the direction that you need to move in, and hey, if you're really not in one area of your life or another, then it's gonna be easy right now to just like kind of clear the obstacles, as long as you're just choosing to and not resisting that. But yeah, many things happening at once is about them falling into place, not like many things, falling on you. I think that's obvious, but I don't know. I felt called to say it, so maybe there's a reason why. But yeah, like it's like, well, it's also like when you're coasting and let's say you're a little bit like, do I need to put on the brakes and stuff? And no, you don't need to put on the brakes, but you also don't need to make yourself go any faster. And so even if it kind of appears in a way that things aren't, like you're not getting something done, you're not pushing yourself and you can't figure out, how to motivate yourself, pay attention to the underlying current though. Pay attention to, well, are you actually though feeling like you're moving and like things are happening, even if they're not quite clicking. Like you have to also surrender to the energy flow that is moving through you and allow yourself to be divinely inspired and allow your productivity and everything to come from that place. It doesn't mean sometimes it does require discipline. I mean, if I waited until I felt inspired to do the dishes, I don't know, sometimes that would be a while, to be honest, but these kinds of things at the same time, sometimes I've done the dishes and I'm like, I'm really not sure that was necessary to do right then. Like it felt bad. Like I kind of felt like it was discipline gone a little bit like overboard, kind of trying to force something upon myself when if they hadn't gotten done, and so it's like then I would have had to have done them the next morning. And this is an example, but it's a pretty easy example to vibe with, to feel into, because I think most of us have been there at one point or another with dishes, right? So it really does speak to learning and mastering a new level of self-discipline through surrender. So it's like, how can you really combine these things that seem different, but they really aren't, self-discipline and surrender. and really allow yourself to be in the flow, allow yourself to, go through upheaval. And this speaks to the solar eclipse too, that kind of energy. Like, allow yourself to make time for self-care, and for, maybe you need more space for just introspection or whatever it is. But like, how can you compassionately combine that with self-discipline to really take you just right? And it's just like, steering while coasting. It's like, how can you get the steering just right so that you don't have to slow yourself down, but you also don't, you're not anxious that you're gonna, kind of jerk your wheel too much or whatever it is. And it does take practice. Like, it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to learn. The main thing is being present and feeling your feelings, because then you're going to build this momentum of these delays being over, things happening quickly or however efficiently, swiftly. So, yeah, just allow that to happen, kind of like that snowball effect. And so even if something, it's like you're not sure, but something feels good, it feels like there's movement there energetically, and you're seeing some shifts, some things starting to happen in your like physical reality, through some kind of communication or some kind of sign. This can be directly twin flame related, or it can also be like life purpose or something else that you've been working on for a while. Like, it could have to do with a legal matter, could have to do with, your home environment, could have to do with a lot of things, but all of these things actually funnel back into the foundation of your union, because it's all, it's your life. Your life and your union are just not separate. So, just keep that in mind and pay attention to, like, the subtle things, but that are there. Like, they're clearly indicating something. They're not just like, ooh, did I just hear something, like, channeled to me, like, within me. Not that that's not a sign that you should discount that, but, like, I'm saying there's also things happening, that you should be able to really identify pretty clearly in your environment, in actual communication. I keep on, like, tripping myself up. I'm saying actual, and I'm like, well, communication is like, it's inner too, but I guess it's, in this instance, like, outward communication with things, people, with God in that specific kind of way. So that's what I'm saying, okay? So yeah, many things happening at once, like starting to see results. Also what I'm saying, starting to see results here, and just, like, not resisting the results, okay? Like, don't resist what is falling into place by, like, well, it hasn't fallen into place yet, so why would it be now, Eeyore kind of vibe. If you don't know who Eeyore is, like a very grumpy donkey in Winnie the Pooh. And I think Winnie the Pooh, someone, actually, like, a student of mine, when I was teaching, was saying, like, all of those characters are, like, represent mental disorders. I don't know if that's true, and I'm not really sure why I decided to mention that, but I was like, oh, okay, it's interesting. Didn't know growing up, that watching that, but yeah, Eeyore is clearly pretty depressed. So if you find yourself kind of talking to yourself or to other people or whatever, like Eeyore would, definitely check yourself. That is a moment for self-discipline, like we were talking about. And for redirecting yourself, doing the mirror exercise, it's below in the book by Jeff and Shalia, Twin Flames Finding Your Ultimate Lover. And a couple of my very first videos to do the mirror exercise, there's a lot of info out there on it. And I know people say there's things that are very similar to it and this and that. Okay, yeah, sure, but it really is, in and of itself, it's a unique spiritual tool, and it is the most efficient way that I found to really utilize self-love. And that's what That's what it is for. That is what it is known for, and I have found it for myself to also be true. And yes, it does require that you take accountability for your reality, which can be something that doesn't seem very fun, but really it's only just not fun to the ego, because the ego wants to tell you later you'll get this, or you should feel like a victim, or all these icky things that sound almost good maybe, but actually are keeping you from loving yourself, which is bad. It is bad news, and it is keeping you from further harmonizing with your twin flame in one way or another. Even if you're wherever you are on your journey, you can always go deeper. So that's another thing. I do hear some people being like, oh, I'm healed. I'm like, oh, okay, well, good for you. Sounds like you can manifest stuff out of thin air, so that's awesome. And what I'm saying is, yes, celebrate, how great you're doing and all of that, but go deeper with self-improvement, with loving yourself. And if you are actively on your ascension journey, then be on it and humble yourself and recognize, well, yeah, you're probably not there yet, and that's a journey worth taking, and you do see the difference and feel the difference as you go. And sometimes it is time to be like, oh, I feel really healed in this place, this feels awesome. But know that then either in that particular place, or maybe that really is pretty much, wow, healed at the core, then there's going to be other stuff. And that's because you want to fully ascend, and that is a process. However long or whatever it takes isn't really the point, but just work in the process, which is just loving yourself and basically doing the mirror exercise. Because it points everything back to you being the creator of your reality, and that is how powerfully you were created to be by your creator. And yeah, your creator is co-creating your reality with you, and is all powerful, but that doesn't make you not powerful when you're aligning with that power, which is love. It makes you powerful. So with that being said, I think that this reading has come to an end. I hope you enjoyed it. Oh my god, I didn't do the 2 middle cards. Are you kidding me? What? Never mind. It's not over at all. I'm gonna leave that in. I was like, should I edit that out? But that's okay. I'm not gonna edit it out. It's kind of funny. So, Queen of Fire, confident, warm, intelligent, graceful. Stretch your wings and fly. Don't underestimate yourself. Assert your independence and creativity. Pretty self-explanatory. Stretch your wings, fly, be creative, be you, be amazing. So this is a very positive card. I love getting this card. It feels really good. And if there is a creative endeavor you're working on, or maybe you're kind of doing something entrepreneurial, or both, this is a very good sign for you. So it's very encouraging to move forward, and good, pat on the back, right, with what you're doing. And then I have Notes from the Universe on Abundance card by Mike Dooley to wrap this up with. It's very yellow. Wow. Ooh, so yellow. No matter how much money or love you've made or lost, you can still make more. Get down on it. Okay. The universe. So yeah, it's I was feeling into this earlier. Not from this card. I hadn't seen this card in a while and did not look at it before this reading. But I was thinking about a similar thought where sometimes you really do need to just recognize you can't hold on to your money, or also this goes with your love, oh, I'll love this later, or I'll pay attention to this later. Well, if you're paying attention to it, you're already paying attention to it, so what's that about, right? And if you feel called to invest in something, it might be time. And even if you already have a lot and you feel oh, I feel pretty good about what I have, don't be afraid to if you have bigger dreams, bigger aspirations, don't be afraid of more. And if you have nothing right now and you've hit rock bottom or anything, in between that, same thing. You, like I was saying earlier about your power with the divine, you have the capability to keep going and to expand And sometimes you have to fail many times before you succeed at all. And sometimes people seem to get lucky, but like there's whatever is behind that is whatever is behind that for that particular person. But for your own journey, just don't compare it to someone else's, but also at the same time, learn from other people and follow what they clearly did right if it feels good to you and it's ethical and all of that, to the extent that, it fits into your own soul design and your own plan. And so yeah, you can still make more. And, I would also say, like, this can be a sign for you to start coaching, like start investing in your twin flame journey. I do hear people like, oh, I'm fine, I'm doing great, and then, oh, my twin flame blocked me or whatever, and it's like, that's okay. Like, these things can happen on your twin flame journey, whether that person turns out to be your twin flame or not, totally. But that's why you want to coach. Like, you want to move through that stuff as efficiently as possible. So check out the links below for coaching. I can help you with that. I can help you move through it. I can help you with the mirror exercise. Yeah, you can do the mirror exercise on your own, and you should do it on your own. But also getting coaching to help you really pinpoint those things that are coming up during a session. And there's also something to be said about like choosing, making space and time for yourself, investing in an hour of that kind of healing. It's like the universe really moves mountains for you, because it's like, okay, like this is what you are devoting a very significant chunk of your life to. I mean, even just an hour a week of your time to devote to that level of healing for yourself is a big deal. It's not a small deal if you're really choosing to. And so for what you receive out of it, it's very worth your while, and it really, it does work, but you have to put the work into it too. I mean, it's just like anything else. It's like you can't just buy a book and become an expert at it after reading it. You have to apply it. You have to do the work too. So yeah, you have to invest and you have to do the inner work. But I can support you in that and help you. And through readings and everything as well. And also ascension art. I love looking at my art. It's very healing, and it can make a great gift for the holidays too. So check all that out and take care. I will be doing another reading soon for the eclipse. And great work, everyone. Divine masculine, divine feminine. And I'll see you next time. Take care. Bye.